Hey everyone, it's Wednesday night. You know what that means. We are Top Rope Tokes here to talk to you about AEW Dynamite. I'm just saying, that guy over there.
Range of motion.
And with how we have been doing the shows lately, the new tradition of style of starting, I'm going to give you the good, the bad, the ugly, how we see it, at least from tonight's episode. What was your good? Let's start off with your good.
The good was how we started the show. Orange Cassidy and Bandito fucking set my monitor on fire.
You know
There's
what?
still a little smoke coming off of it. That match was a banger. That was the good of the night for sure.
I was not even thinking about that. My good, it's going to be something that we talk about in a moment, but we had a debut tonight. And being a fan of what two of these people have done before in the past and seeing them hug in the ring, I was so excited. I mean, you kind of spoiled it for me being ahead on the stream, but I was so
You're
excited when
talking
I got
about
to see it.
Sammy and MJF.
Roderick motherfucking Strong.
Oh, okay. That a different hug. Okay.
Oh, with the debut, yeah.
Yeah, I thought, hugs. We're talking about MJF and Sammy.
It was a fun segment. It could have been. It was very short. It was a segment, but it was so fun.
There was a lot of hugs.
So for my bad, I'm going with more production problems for AEW because Renee was backstage with Adam Cole. They started their whole interview thing, and it was like her mic was not on for the entirety of her question.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
keep
that
doing it.
was they pop up pretty frequently. See, and I just was like, yeah, whatever. It's part of the show now. Like I've come to terms with it. It's part of the show, I guess. Um, my bad is the future Pokemon battle that we've got set up between Christian and Arn Anderson.
Honestly, I completely forgot about that part of the show because it had to be one of the lowest points of the show because a Wardlow match against somebody who was not even named.
Yeah,
Whatever
yeah.
promo.
It was just a guy who got Powerbomb Symphony. That's his name.
So my ugly, and this is my, I don't know, like it was hard to pull something completely ugly out of the hat.
Hmm.
But the continuing of Tony Khan's major announcements either being actually important or a major letdown in terms of importance. It tonight's was not worth the
It's
hype.
either or every time. It's massive or not.
This kind of announcement is the ones that you have Tony Schiavone just get in the ring and start talking about. This
Yep,
kind of announcement.
this would have been the one. That definitely would have been the one. Um, my ugly is QTV. God damn it, I can't stand it.
All right, so let me ask you a question about that because honestly, we're not going to have to talk about it later. We really don't have to talk
Yeah,
about it later. Was it ugly because it was bad? Was it ugly to you because or not Wardlow, but Hobbs should be so much bigger than this?
both. Because I was the first couple QTV skits were okay to me because I was like, yeah, it's a little bit of comedy in there. But this one, it was just like, well, Hobbs is mad at QTV.
You know
So
what?
his next feud is going to be against QTV.
Thinking about it tonight and what was so bad about this because there wasn't really much content for what they talked about. My God, like every promo tonight was just generic, generic, generic.
Yeah.
The only thing that really stood out in terms of talking was the Sammy and MJF thing that you talked about.
Yeah, and that was just those two loving each other too much.
There was so much just cliche general like lines throughout tonight, and that was not fun. Oh, I have to throw in an honorary good
Okay.
because I didn't think about this till now. The like 5 minute long pickle commercial that AEW ran tonight on commentary. You got a fork, bro?
You got four, bro. Like,
Oh my god.
he's like, yeah, I just touched like every pickle in there. You
And then
don't have a fork.
Tony Schiavone mocking Taz for it. The back and forth about the pickles on commentary, which sucks because that was a match that we should have been able to enjoy from start to finish. I don't remember like the first 5 minutes of the match.
No, I was paying way too much attention to the pickle commentary because Taz and MJF together is pretty fucking incredible.
Them New York boys.
Oh man.
And then
You got a fork, bro?
the random like Excalibur doing the like trying to imitate Andre the Giant from Princess Bride. Like the whole anyone got a peanut when he did the whole really deep voice, like, do you have a pickle or whatever he said? I was like, that's the only thing I could think of why he would change his voice. I was like, is he trying to do a play on Andre in the peanut line?
I didn't get it because I wasn't part of the two people that was for. Because he said that was for two people, and apparently you were one of those two.
Okay, if that's the case, then it couldn't have been that because so many more people would get it. I mean, it wasn't even like line for line, but like the change in the voice, it just made me kind of start to think in that direction.
Mm. Yeah, I have no idea.
You know what?
Nope,
We'll leave it for
don't know what.
a minute. I'm trying to think of anything else from I'm sorry, but the pickle stuff just had me dying. I'm just trying to remember anything else.
Oh man. So
Are you gonna order some of the
question
MJF
for you.
pickles?
Very, very important and wrestling related. Is the shirt you're wearing a pajama shirt?
No, just straight dress shirt.
Oh.
But I will
It's like
admit, it is smooth.
it's got that like silk pajama sheen on the camera.
It does.
Does it actually have that like silky sheen to it?
A little bit.
Or is it just the camera that's making it look real shiny?
A little bit.
Okay. So I was about to say that's balling. Doing the show in your pajama shirt.
I've probably had pajama pants on before, not gonna lie.
Hey.
But shirts, those are usually just undershirts for me.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna have to look it up though, but I ordered it from the same way that I got all my work shirts before, like all my black, my grays that I really like, so I went back to them.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks comfy. Anyways, wrestling.
For the first little part of tonight's show, I figured let's talk about probably the two biggest pieces of news coming out tonight's Dynamite. One, the terrible Tony Khan announcement.
Hey, that was huge.
You know, there's all these rumors running around about AEW Collision starting up in Chicago, brand split, right? And you figure now you're kind of getting into the window where you might expect that to be announced.
Yeah.
So there was high expectations by a lot of people out there. Did not live up to it.
Yeah, he didn't say anything about it. Arn Anderson's the only one that talked about a draft today. And he was talking about the NFL draft.
Yeah, so the whole announcement was basically the Owens coming back,
Yeah.
but they're gonna do it all basically in Canada. Uh, if not all of it. So it's gonna be matches at Forbidden Door.
Mm-hmm.
The opening
At Forbidden
rounds is starting at Double or Nothing, so that's not Canada.
uh,
And
but
then
it's Las Vegas.
right, and then
Place where everyone goes.
the finals will take place. And this is kind of it was a little bit fitting. I did like part of this because you don't get to see it too often anymore. But the finals are going to be in Owen's hometown of Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And then they're showing, Tony says it's fitting. Talks about Forbidden Door. He says it's very fitting for the Owen because of the fact that he was a former IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. And they had the footage of Owen over in Japan holding the title.
Yeah, that was pretty cool that they had. Because I always forget, like, yeah, you can get New Japan footage because you are friends with New Japan.
I miss Owen. And I feel bad because how I look back at him and remember him at the time, growing up watching him, is he was a big deal, but he wasn't a big deal, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like he's one of those wrestlers that you wish you had been old enough to appreciate fully.
I am not a nugget.
Uh, you're not a Denver Nugget.
That whole gimmick that he had for a while, where he was pissed off, calling himself not a nugget, and then
Oh,
for him to be stuck with the whole Blue Blazer stuff, and that inevitably leading to what it led to. Shame because so many people were all aboard the hype train when it was like him versus Brett, world championship possibilities, and then kind of a joke for a while. Never a full blown joke. Never a full blown joke though.
it's because he just wasn't. He wasn't Vince size.
And then there's always that possibility of Vince being super pissed off at Brett. Because we know that man is petty.
That too. That too. All that shit around that story. But anyways, yeah, Owen Hart tournament
Happening
in
mostly in
Canada.
Canada.
Most of it.
I mean, that's cool. I mean, you know what? It makes sense. It makes sense to have the Owen when you're going to be touring Canada. It does.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Hold it in Canada. Maybe that can be like Ty's first big win. Since she's Canadian and stuff.
Yeah, could be. But the other biggest news of the night starts off with Adam Cole making a point that he is calling out Chris Jericho. He's going to the ring, he's calling him out, talks about JS handcuffing him, making him watch them beat up Britt with the Outcast. I will say, like this part, Adam Cole, very generic, right? Pissed off, like I'll fight you or I come back and destroy you, right?
Yeah.
I thought what Jericho said on the Titantron, because when Adam Cole went to go backstage to find him and he popped up on screen, I thought Jericho wasn't bad. I mean, it was a very Jericho
Yeah.
promo.
Oh yeah. But he makes it work all the time. Like he spins that whole narrative, like he spins the truth into the Jericho version, and he makes it seem like he's justified in every crazy Jericho thing he does.
You know, it's almost like a twist on the whole. That man doesn't wear a shirt and he's not in the wrestling match. Who does that or whatever? Like that whole twist where he's talking about himself but not talking about himself.
Yeah.
Since he's the whole reason that Adam Cole, because Jericho goes, I don't want to be anywhere around a man that wouldn't do anything to stop what happened to his girlfriend.
Jericho. And Adam Cole was just talking about the reason why he had to watch.
Like, yeah, he was going to do a whole lot. But Jericho says he doesn't want to be around him, but his boys will be, and he sends all of JAS to attack.
Yeah. He sends his booze.
Oddly enough, the first people to come out to try and help Adam Cole were who?
Ooh. Yeah. Orange Cassidy and Bandito came out first. Because the Orange Cassidy and Bandito had decided to be friends earlier after putting on a bomb ass match.
And it's funny because the whole interview segment that they thought they might have been getting with Renee, she was actually there to talk to Adam Cole. And now they're there for Adam Cole.
Mm-hmm.
But the numbers game, still too much for the three of them. All three of them are still getting their asses whooped. I'm sitting here just waiting. Our stream's unfortunately not being at the same time. I hear you ask, who the hell is who?
I said, who's Roderick Strong?
My jaw just drops and I haven't got to the music yet. So a couple seconds later, I'm like obviously at that point I knew it was coming, but just to actually see the name pop up on the screen and him run out,
Yeah.
it's exciting. You have no fucking clue though.
Really exciting. Yeah, as you can tell, what my reaction was who is Roderick Strong? Because I was like, oh, okay, this is a debut because I don't know this music. And then they put the name up there, and I was like, who the fuck is that guy?
So I promise you, he is a much better wrestler than his wife, Marina Shafir.
Okay.
Which is why everyone's always so confused. Like, she has such a great tool at her disposal. She should be amazing, at least in the ring at this point. But not so much. He ends up, even though Orange Cassidy and Bandito couldn't, Roderick Strong ends up clearing the ring of JAS, and then you have that stare down with Adam Cole before a nice, big, firm embrace.
Yeah, that's that debut power. You can't stop nobody that's debuting.
You can tell he was hyped up to be there, though. He was so full of energy.
He was really hyped up. The crowd was not super hyped up tonight at all, but
the crowd was not good, period.
Yeah.
Oddly,
the crowd the crowd, like, even because usually an Orange Cassidy match has the crowd hyped, and that didn't have them hype.
Or FTR with Dax.
Yeah.
But not so much.
I was trying to give them the benefit of the doubt that it's not both of them, but still, yeah.
Stupid crowd. Yeah, he was so hyped up to actually be there, which was exciting. Now I actually really kind of want to go back and finally watch that first episode of All Access to kind of bring Kyle O'Reilly back into the memory. He had that neck surgery, so who knows what his future holds.
Yeah.
All the pieces have been there. I mean, Bobby Fish is gone already, but that's fine. That's fine. If we can get Kyle O'Reilly back, Bobby Fish can go.
Hopefully Kyle O'Reilly can come back.
I was trying to think of somebody for you to kind of compare Roderick Strong to, and I'm not saying they wrestle like similar moves exactly, but he might be like a smaller version of Takeshita.
Okay.
Like, strikes aren't his main thing, but he has some good strikes. But he's a really good wrestler.
I could see that.
Not much of a talker.
Okay.
But a really good wrestler.
That's all right. As long as he could wrestle, I'm good.
Yeah. If he's running with Adam Cole, I mean, we know Adam Cole can talk. But having them together, just the two of them, will still seem kind of odd to me. So I'm hoping there will be more to that story down the line. But you already know, I feel like Adam Cole has to be heel.
Oh yeah. He'll go back eventually. It's just we didn't know if he was gonna ever come
Hmm.
back to wrestling. So he's gonna be a face for a little bit.
Yeah, I just don't think it will be as long as other people that maybe hold on to it too long, just coming in. Um,
Hmm.
I mean, I would say by the year end, I hope that'd be 9 months since he came back, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's only wrestled once, and like he's been back for 3 years or something like that.
March 27th. It's been a month. It's been a month.
Okay. That was when his first match was?
Yeah, because remember we always laughed about it
Yeah.
being at the very end of March and the
Yeah.
April
Yeah,
Fools.
that's right. Yep. Uh-huh. Because I remember I said on April 1st, he was just going to come out and be like, ha, April Fools. I don't want to wrestle again. Screw the fans.
All right,
But he
so
didn't.
now that's been a month. He had one match. All I know is at least he's on TV like every single week, so I don't have to worry about it as much when we go to see Dynamite in 2 weeks.
Oh, jeez, it's only 2 weeks away, man.
It came out
Yeah,
quick, didn't
buddy.
it?
Yes, it did.
Which means I also still got to get the GCW tickets. So you just mentioned them, so up here, let's jump to it. Let's talk about your favorite match of the night. Kicking off the
Um,
show, Orange Cassidy versus Bandito.
mhm.
I'm assuming it's your match of the
Yeah.
night. We had one good one later, but it was half a pickle commercial.
Say, this match by far the best match of the night, and it wasn't like there was bad matches on the card.
Bandito went
It's
into
just
God mode and lost.
Bandito, man. Like, there's still smoke on my monitor from earlier. Like, it's been 2.5 hours, and there's still smoke on my monitor because that match, whoo, that burned it up.
You talked about it.
Bandito is so good.
You talked about it early in the match about how his reign's been going so long, but it kind of needs to end, Orange Cassidy, at some point, but we just don't know when or how. Um,
Hmm.
did you? How much did commentaries early talk about Orange Cassidy going for 20 successful defensives and making that such a huge point? Did that kind of make you think it was a chance of it?
No. At no point did I believe there was any chance that he would lose this match, but I loved it.
I wanted to pre-type it in and just like write it up as Orange Cassidy wins. I didn't
Hmm.
because I'm like, man, he should
It's
win,
like
but they're talking
I
about
would
this
be
a
down to
lot.
watch Bandito win that match. But yeah, I love Orange Cassidy's title reign. This match was one of my favorites during his title reign. I don't know, like, was the last one Buddy, or was there was something in between?
There might have been two in between at this point. It all
There was
like
yeah,
all the
there was
time.
definitely at least one in between there. But like this one and him and Buddy, I don't know. Like I feel like I need to rewatch both of them to decide because these have been like my two favorite matches during Orange Cassidy's reign.
You had a good line during this match. Bandito did his whole finger guns thing, and then you had a great line, and I just started dying. Do you remember what the line was?
Oh no, I don't remember what I just remember that Orange Cassidy holstered Bandito's guns.
That's exactly what you said. You were like, he holstered him.
Yeah, he holstered him. that was he holstered his guns. Like Bandito had the finger guns out, and Orange Cassidy was like, "You know what? Let me put your hands in my pockets."
So at this point, my next note is Bandito is a god, but by the time we got to that point, we had already seen him do a vertical
Yeah.
suplex, hold Orange Cassidy up forever during the commercial break, come
Yep.
back from commercial, start to slip, and then kind of finish the move. And that wasn't even the most impressive thing he did.
Dog. But one of the things that I like is that pop up cutter. Because we've seen the pop up to all kinds of stuff, but I've never seen it like that. Uh, dope.
It was always one of my favorite moves back in the video game. I was like, nobody does this, but it is fucking sweet.
Yeah.
Especially if you get a combination of two people where you can get height on it.
Like this.
Because it's very
Orange
believable
Cassidy
that
sells.
Bandito could throw somebody up in the air.
Yeah. Because he's strong as shit. And Orange Cassidy flies.
He did that one-handed gorilla press slam, just holding up Orange Cassidy later in the match.
Dog. Man.
Then
Yeah, these I want to see those two again.
after that press slam was like one of the most rushed frog splashes I've ever seen in my life. Because he got on that top rope and he tried to do that Eddie, like the shoulder shimmy, but it was so quick.
He tried, but yeah, it wasn't the best, but a
Frog splash was solid though.
match night. Match of the night.
And we saw big respect between the two after. A little bit of comedy because it was a giant failure.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Orange Cassidy tried to put sunglasses on Bandito, but the mask is kind of fighting against the sunglasses.
Uh, Bandito ends up handing Orange Cassidy the belt and then the glasses which had fallen off. He tries to put them back on, but they're still just they're doing the thing where it's like half on his ear, half on his forehead, and
Yeah. Um basically the best friends must not have been there tonight, and Orange Cassidy needed a different friend today.
because these two ended up later on coming out to try to help Adam Cole when Jericho Appreciation Society was attacking him. Still wasn't enough to help him.
Yeah. I loved that little that small little piece when they were backstage and you think Adam Cole is about to talk about a whole bunch of stuff, and then it's just like, oh, here's Orange Cassidy and Bandito who just got done wrestling like 20 seconds ago. And they're like, oh, we're not talking about the match. Oh, bye.
Yeah, so Orange Cassidy, the story of the match, a lot of it was him and his hurt hand. He ends up winning with Orange Punch anyway. They go to Adam Cole, who at the end of his little talk with Renee, starts to walk off, but then you have Orange Cassidy following right behind. Talk about that match? No, we were talking Adam Cole. Oh, then Bandito follows up.
Oh. Yeah. I love it.
It was so
Orange
fun.
Cassidy and Bandito, the friendship that I didn't know I needed to see.
Bandito's going to be the new guy that hangs out with Orange Cassidy while Danhausen is out and away injured.
Oh, that'll be hype. I'm so down for that. That would be such a weird contrast. It's like Bandito, the guy who you've never heard talk and keeps his face covered, versus Danhausen, the guy who talks all the time. Doesn't do much wrestling.
Honestly, if it gets Bandito involved where he's on TV more often, I'm for it. Just
Yeah.
don't make it super awkward. If you can make it seem kind of where it works, good. Just don't make it
Give
weird.
me lots of Bandito. But yeah, please, please, please don't turn him into like a complete joke or something like that, you know. But we're happy. We're happy.
So there was surprisingly two matches that scratch that. I'm not going to cut there. That was just messed up. So going into tonight, you figure one of the biggest matches on the night had to be Darby versus Sammy, winner going out to face MJF, right?
Oh yeah.
So it was the middle of the show, which makes sense. 9 o'clock spot's usually a pretty good match too. But it made me kind of wonder what was going to be the main event. Had us worried about a couple of things there. But before we ever got to that match, we talked about it in the beginning. Darby and Jack Perry had the most generic fucking promo set thing backstage with each other.
Yeah.
I'd skip it if it didn't fucking matter at the end of the match.
Right. It definitely matters. Basically, Darby and Jungle Boy they don't like each other, but
We gotta work together.
we gotta work together, man. Because Darby was just like, "Hey, my bad. I shouldn't have been trying to pretend that I was Sting, hanging out in the rafters.
He should have known MJF was
I
trying to
should have
pull some
known
shit.
MJF was going to be cheating. So, help me, even though I didn't help you."
And then Jungle Boy says he wishes he was the one facing Darby tonight. And Darby goes, "Yeah, I kind of wish you were too, because then I could beat you again, like I did last time."
Mm-hmm.
And
So,
Jack didn't seem so happy. And it came with one of those nice condescending like shoulder pats too.
yeah. All right, bud.
But
See you later.
now the fun one. Now the fun backstage promo. We got Renee with Sammy, but MJF comes in off rip saying it's Sammy's big night. Sammy's like, no, it's our big night. And they're talking about what about all the people online? They're saying MJF wanted this tournament so it wouldn't be the Fatal Four. Or if Sammy lies down for MJF, it's going to ruin the sanctity of wrestling in the title. But they don't give a fuck. And they just start cracking up. And that's where
But
things
we don't
start to turn.
care.
It got kicked into overdrive right then and there.
Yeah, because you like from the beginning, it was just a love fest between these two. Because he didn't even mention it, but during all of that banter earlier, they're hugging through the entire thing and kissing each other on the forehead.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the kiss.
Yeah, they're both kissing each other on the forehead. He's like, "It's your big night tonight." He kisses him on the forehead. Sammy, "No, it's our big night." He kisses him back. uh, they're they're trying to be the new golden lovers.
So there was a part of this that was kind of funny to me, in that
Mm-hmm.
Sammy went and got MJF a matching vest. Or sorry, Sammy went and got MJ. Yeah, I said that right. The crazy thing about that is that vest came from the Inner Circle days, right?
Yeah,
Which goes to Jericho and everything, which is a whole big. I mean, they mentioned it in like a
yeah.
promo recently about how they got into it because of Inner Circle in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of funny that that would be involved because yeah, the history and the story with that vest.
That's kind of funny.
Hey, did you know that you have a matching scarf with Sammy Guevara now?
No, I don't. I sure don't.
MJF
Hey,
returns the gift back with giving him his own scarf. They end up doing the whole thing in the end. Friends don't shake hands, Range. What would friends do?
they hug.
And they both just have the biggest shit eating grins on their faces, staring at the camera through the whole thing.
Oh man, I hate how much I loved that segment.
I hate
I really do.
that I don't hate Sammy anymore.
Yeah, yeah. That That was a great. That was a great stupid segment.
So much better than Jack and Darby. So
Ooh,
much better.
yeah, yeah. They were struggling.
Now, this match could have been exciting from start to finish, but instead, after they come out, MJF comes out, joins commentary with his jar of pickles that he endorsed.
Bruh, the pickles.
Do you
Yeah,
have a
the
fork,
pickles
bro?
took up half of the match because I wasn't even really paying much attention because MJF and Taz going back and forth about the pickles is just gold.
And
And
then
then everybody else just commenting on these two with the pickles.
Tony Schiavone mocking Taz. Do you have a fork, bro? Just sitting there dying. If you want to see us actually talk probably more about that with like humor and laughter, because it's the second time we've talked about it now, make sure you catch our video about the good, the bad, and the ugly, because it's going to be in there.
Yeah, yeah, we talked about it once already, but just know that if you bring some pickles over, bring a fork too, bro.
Now I want some MJF pickles. But at some point we went to a commercial, and when we came back from commercial shortly after,
They weren't
this
talking about pickles anymore.
this to me wasn't the most extreme or biggest like violent move of the night, but it was possibly one of the best looking moves of the night, because we all know when Darby gets his head of steam and dives through them ropes, there's very few people that are moving faster than him. Very few. And
Mhm.
Sammy caught him so nicely with a cutter off of that onto the floor, and it surprised the hell out of me, and I was just shocked, and it was a thing of beauty.
Yeah, that was nasty. That was probably like my favorite thing of the night, actually, because the Orange Cassidy Bandito match overall just killed it. But that one move is going to be the most like one the most unforgettable move of the night for sure. Would you?
Which you would think is a kind of crazy thing to say, considering at some point during this match, Sammy hits a 630 from the top rope onto Darby outside the ring on a table.
It's
And
Vikingo. It's his fault. I don't care about anybody flipping anymore. It's his fault. If they flip, it's not going to be as good as his flips every time. That's what I'm. When I saw that, I said, I wonder how many flips Vikingo would have done.
so we talked about it a little bit before with last week's show, how it ended with a count out being such a big kind of disappointment. At least
Hmm.
tonight's show ending the way, or not tonight's show, but this match ending the way that it did, I'm very thankful. It did not end the show.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy they didn't end the show with that because we already knew what the end result to this was the whole time. And
If you go back and watch a video from 2 weeks ago, you might have seen me lay out exactly what was happening tonight.
yep,
Uh,
yep.
Ty is down there. MJF at some point left commentary. Ty's mellows. She's distracting the referee. MJF tosses Darby his own skateboard. Sammy does the Eddie Guerrero spot and wins the last time you saw a referee actually disqualify somebody for the spot.
Uh,
Maybe the first time
shit.
Eddie did it.
I'm gonna say, yeah. The only time that I could think of is when Eddie has done it.
And even then, it started to go away. It might have happened a few times, but it was not every time. And
Yeah,
well, we got the DQ tonight.
yeah. That was really, really weird for AEW. We had a DQ
And then,
Last time I think I saw a DQ in AEW was before Forbidden Door last year when Jeff Cobb and that other guy
oh,
that's not as good as him showed up.
the Great Okan. That's who it
Yeah, that
was.
one. I was just like Jeff Cobb and that other guy that's not as good.
After the match, there was a lot going on because at first they end up still kind of beating up on Darby, right?
Yeah.
Before Jack
Yeah.
comes down to the ring with a chair and cleans house. But then us as people watching on TV, we're hearing Tony Schiavone talking about how Tony Khan's in his ear telling him something. And at the same time, MJF is starting to cut a promo on the mic.
I thought that was I thought his quick line in there about Darby listening to My Chemical Romance and crying was great.
Using his
It was
tears
like
to
Darby
stroke
looks,
it.
yeah, using his tears to stroke it while he's listening to My Chemical Romance. That's great.
So right before MJF actually started to talk is when we got to see why we had to talk about the Darby or Jack Perry thing backstage, because Jack goes to help up Darby and Darby is pissed the fuck off at him, like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, a day late and $1 short. Like, he asked you to have his back during the match. I mean, he kind of just he was a dick to you, so you really shouldn't have any you shouldn't feel any need to help him. But if you were going to come help, you could have like so there was like 75 spots where he should have came to help him before that. And he
Right.
was just like, yeah, they're about done kicking his ass. I guess I'll go down there.
I'd have to go back and
Let me
watch it
get the big
again,
moment.
but I think Jack kind of gestured at the chair, like going, I had to get a chair first or some shit. I don't even fucking know. But
Yeah, see, I didn't even pay attention to that if he did, but he took forever. And I don't blame Darby because he was like, come on, man, you just let me get stomped out by these two for like 5 minutes before you came out here. Like,
so
did he take all that time to take his shirt off and stuff?
so we had Tony Schiavone hop up to interrupt MJF. What he do? Just say, "Shut up, you prick."
Yep. Yep. Old Shivani. Shut up, you
Basically,
prick.
he gives credit to Sammy. Said you did win your matches, so you will be in the main event, but you may not be
Mm-hmm.
alone because next week they're not going one on one with the Undertaker. Playa.
Oh, player. Uh.
It's gonna be the tag team match, and of course, if the baby faces Darby and Jungle Boy, who are kind of pissed at each other right now, win, they will be added, and we will have a four pillars fatal four-way or four-way. I don't think they use fatal in AEW.
I haven't heard them say that. But yeah, the thing that we've known for like a month and a half is going to happen.
Yeah. Ever since that
But
one Dynamite started off with one pillar, then the other pillar, then the other pillar, then the other pillar.
then we're like, oh, so double or nothing main event, four pillars match.
And none of those
And
pillars
now
were
they're
Britt
like, oh,
Baker.
they're like, no, only one of them is gonna get a shot.
Uh-huh, sure, whatever you want to say.
Sure.
Then
And now we don't know if the other two are gonna get a shot because we don't know if they're gonna win that match.
uh, although it does kind of make sense because I think it's also going to play into the story of Sammy not laying down for MJF because clearly not happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he's Sammy. He wouldn't even lay down for Jericho.
Because after this, we get something that was the polar opposite from their video earlier. As after the match, MJF's talking about how Tony Khan treats him, like, how you treat me isn't going to keep me here, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't go into the full bidding war of 2024 thing, but does say wherever he goes, the belt goes with him. But it's about
Yeah,
the end. It's about the very end.
that was whack.
What happened?
That was whack. He pulled off on Sammy. Sammy was like, "Let me get a ride," and he was like, "Oh, car's full."
And
Like,
the thing, like, Sammy's
damn.
just following him right along the entire way. And when he tells him the car's full, the camera like goes behind MJF's back and completely zooms inside of the empty vehicle.
Yeah.
And Sammy knew it
Oh yeah, Sammy knew that shit was empty. MJF's a dick, you know.
because he had
Gotta be a dick.
kind of had that tongue in cheek, like, "Oh, really?" look on his face.
Hmm. So yeah, that definitely seals it that Sammy will not be laying down for MJF,
I'm gonna take
and
this one
he,
step further. Do you
yeah, I'm
think
gonna say
Sammy
he
walks out
might
on
even.
MJF next week?
That's what I was thinking. He might even do something along those lines.
But oh, hold on, major issue. I don't think you pinned MJF. So does MJF
Hmm.
just say "fuck this, I quit" and leave, and it's a count out, or get himself disqualified?
Hmm. I
What
feel like he can eat a pin in a tag match.
you think they do it? I
He
feel
can eat a
like
pin in a tag match. They probably won't, but that wouldn't that wouldn't hurt him at all to eat a pin in a tag match.
I generally agree with you, but we've also seen how when they have a world champion, they
Hmm.
almost never ever take a pin.
Yeah, yeah, they book them strong. So if they book them strong, if they're not Hobbs,
So think like Claudio is a great example. You have a former world champion in that group in Mox, but when they do tag team stuff, Claudio's kind of treated like the best of them. He gets
yep,
a lot of the pins.
yeah, he gets a lot of the shine. He does. He usually gets the finish with his Rick Lola bombs. Ricola.
I'm looking at a match that happened on tonight's card,
Are you?
and I really don't want to talk about it or the associated stuff with it, but I guess
Got
Wardlow
that vibe.
versus somebody that we don't know their name.
Yeah, Wardlow squashed a guy.
Headbutt, which we agree his headbutt looks terrible. Terrible.
Yep, we
His
very much prefer the Luchasaurus head, but
the very awkward like Wardlow lariat thing he does, which has never looked good in my opinion. Two power bombs, a stop, another power bomb, another break, and then another power bomb, and the win.
yeah, but he pulled his straps down for the last one, so that was a super power bomb.
Even though none of them look amazing. Actually, his very first one looked the most vicious because the dude did not land flat on his back.
Yeah, it's wild.
Arn Anderson's looking all like at ringside, like, oh my god, the like he's like it's
He's
some
like,
kind of
wait,
vicious thing,
he's like, you killed him. He's dead.
and
My God, he's dead.
he ends up grabbing a mic, and we get a promo from Arn Anderson, which the only part of this I thought was good was when he was talking to a jobber. He's like, "Damn boy, go get yourself an ice bath and a 12 pack."
Yep. Because yeah, that was unfortunate for that guy that he didn't even get his name on TV. I'm like, damn.
Well, he sort of did. When he was getting his ass power bombed over and over and over again, his I'm assuming the two words that were on his trunks are probably his name. I just couldn't read
Man,
it.
that don't count. Shut up. They didn't even say that man name.
I was waiting. I was listening. I was like, can you all at least
Yeah,
say
no,
what
they
his name
didn't.
is?
Yeah, and so I was like, 'cause I was like, long shot if they put up the graphic, but they didn't even say the man's name not one time. But yeah, that guy got
After
squashed and Arn. Yeah, his only good line was telling him to get an ice bath and a 12 pack.
he then tried to compare like picking Wardlow as like picking someone in the NFL draft.
Yeah, yeah, Wardlow is an NFL draft prospect.
He's AEW's dynasty. He's the one who can carry AEW into the future, but there's a few things he's got to agree with Arn about first. And starts
Hmm.
talking about basically Wardlow trying to become the new dirtiest player in the game. Like, you got to gouge an eye out, do it. You got to bite a finger off, you're going to do it. You're going to take a steel chair to somebody, Christian Cage's music hits.
Yeah, of course. Christian's like, hey, I do that. It's my thing.
So we got no words from them tonight about this whole thing, but I kind of hope wherever this feud goes, it would be great if Christian Cage turns around and says maybe Luchasaurus could teach you how to actually do a headbutt.
Yep. So it's going to be a Pokemon battle. Christian versus Arn. Well, Charmander, or sorry, Charmeleon. I'm at least letting him be a Charmeleon. Charmeleon versus Machoke.
Well, I mean, Charmeleon was the dickish one, so like Charmander was still like the cute little character.
Yeah, yeah. Charmeleon versus Machoke.
It would be funny though if Arn Anderson actually used the words "I choose you."
Yeah, because he just basically just like picked the best horse in the race. He was like, yeah, this one's a thoroughbred. I'm gonna everybody put your money on this one.
Christian Cage and Luchasaurus basically walk up to the ring. He starts to go up like the steps and stuff, and then they just back up, thinking better of it. And that's the end. So exciting.
Yeah,
I really don't like
eventually,
Wardlow.
Double or Nothing. Wardlow Luchasaurus.
All right.
It's gonna happen.
Unless
Just get
Wardlow.
ready for it.
Yeah, because that's got to be the match at this point. Um, if I have to take a bathroom while we watch it, break while watching that pay per view, that match will be it. Unless it like
And
starts the show off.
that would be saddening. Because I would love for that to be about halfway through the show.
Yeah, I that'll be a title match of zero interest for me.
They really are building up Double or Nothing early this year.
I mean, we got about a month, and you can see where a few things are going.
Yeah.
Um, I'm kind of curious on how other things will play out. If it's going to be like BCC versus um, the Elite, like
Yeah,
are they
and
going to
in what way is that going to be happening is what really the question is.
basically like do you just go straight 4-on-4? When's Hangman going to get involved? Like you know what's going to happen? Some kind of variation. Are they going to do all together, or will there be like one set that goes on 1-on-1? Like Kenny versus Danielson again 1-on-1.
Yeah, yeah, but I don't know. I guess we can talk about them a little bit more, but or, yeah, we don't have a whole lot else
Uh,
actually.
take a
Yeah, I
look.
guess we can talk about them.
Well,
So I was gonna say that you got Adam Cole and Jericho. It's gonna happen at Double or Nothing. You've got
Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal versus FTR.
yeah, Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, FTR especially after that match today. Um I hate to say it, but we might end up getting Hobbs and QT.
Pre-show, please. I mean, I hate
Yeah.
doing that to Hobbs, but at the same time,
Yeah.
it's QT.
Yeah.
You might revisit Jade and Taya, although I don't necessarily have confidence that they'll even put that on the card because the last pay-per-view, Jade wasn't on it.
Yeah, there's no way they leave her off of the card again. They just nah. They couldn't. They wouldn't.
Yeah. Because especially, you know what? Jump into it in a second. I'm gonna kind of get that break here.
Good.
So, damn.
So,
So tonight we had Jade versus Taya, the TBS Championship match, where Taya could not use the road to Valhalla. We got kind of late into this card, and I was wondering if it was going to be the main event, and we started to kind of, yeah.
I panicked. I was thinking there was no way you can take the belt off of Jade. You can't do that.
Give Taya a little bit more time, but what they did was they ended up giving Taya more time, and they put a real story in here, kind of going forward. So that's kind of nice because it's only like Jade's second real story.
Yeah.
All right. It's got to be talked about. I'm throwing it front and center. Jade hit a destroyer.
Yeah. I'm telling you, Jade's adding to that bag, man.
I
She's
honestly,
just working on one move here and there.
I honestly want to know what the conversation like that went into it. Like how much of it was Taya and how much of it was Jade.
Who knows? Especially knowing that Ty has wrestled a lot of like lucha style. Who knows?
And she's worked a lot of independent shows, so she does work sometimes with people who aren't as seasoned of veterans, similar to Jade. So might be more willing to take those chances and be confident in herself.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a big surprise for me because like Jade, we know Jade keeps slowly adding to her bag, which is very smart to do. Don't just try to give her a bunch of things to work on. Let her add one thing, get it down, get a new thing, get that down, and then eventually she's going to have a whole bag of tricks.
So after the destroyer, she went for Jada, but Ty was able to counter. Ty won towards the end of this match. Ty goes for the road to Valhalla, but realizes a little bit too late. Well, not too late, but she's like, I can't do this, and lets Jade go. And this is where the story beat can kind of continue. I didn't notice this, so let me know. When she was standing over Jade, Jade does a roll up for the pin. Commentary said Jade had the tights. Somebody in a chat I saw said Ty doesn't really have tights where she grabbed to grab, so it was just a pin, and Ty's a sore loser.
She tried to grab her tights, but yeah, Ty is like she was definitely like clenching for tights, but she couldn't really grab them because of Ty's ring gear. It's not it's not easy grab. Ha, like everybody else's, like how Dax's panties get pulled off like every match he's in.
so
Like, it
so the
wasn't
attention
anything
was
like
there
that.
though.
Yeah.
Tell the story of
Yeah, it definitely looked like she was trying to pull her tights.
And that's how you extend that out to Double or Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And also, considering what happened after this match, you could possibly do the whole thing where, all right, Taya can't be at the arena next week because she's all pissed off. She's like swinging still at Jade, Layla, who are outside the ring. Aubrey's getting in the way, like yelling at Jade and all them. But Taya ends up grabbing Aubrey. The refs are already on their way down to the ring. She grabs Aubrey, starts to lift her up. All the refs are able to stop her from giving Aubrey, the referee, the road to Valhalla.
Yeah, that would have been great.
I kind of wish she had done it.
I know.
It would have showed how pissed off she was even more. Although maybe they view like if you fuck with Aubrey like that, you're gonna be a heel. I think she would have been all right.
Mm, yeah, she would. I mean, she could. She's got that fire to where she could work heel too. So I would be fine. I would think she could, but yeah, if she hit, that's gonna give you some heat.
Mhm.
You get Aubrey because everybody loves Aubrey.
And I'm just kind of curious if she can play it off as like a
You know,
really pissed
the
off
acclaimed
babyface
say
heel.
everyone loves them. Everyone loves Aubrey. Okay.
Aubrey every Wednesday.
Yeah.
So one reason, as we were just talking about, I think Jade has to be on this pay per view and defend her title, unlike the last one. Damn it, AEW. I'm not sure Jamie's going to defend her title
Mm.
because their
Oh,
promo tonight,
yeah. Well, yeah, it's not over with the Outcasts.
and it might be heading towards a very violent, hardcore type of match from their promo because Jamie is in the sling after they send her to the hospital, so that way they can attack Britt. They say the Outcasts like forget what they're capable of because they think they're decent human beings, but until they're given a reason not to be. Jamie talks a little
Mm.
bit of shit about them having used weapons that beat up Britt, even though they had the numbers advantage.
Bring back Willow with the braids.
It would make sense because she says it's war, and it's as far as Jamie's concerned, it's not over until they send them to the morgue.
Bring back Willow with the braids.
It it might be setting up one of those lights out hardcore type of matches between the women. So Jamie's title might not be on the line.
Hmm. Yeah, that's. I think that's fine. Jamie has been a fighting champion,
A great fighting
so.
champion. Love you, Jamie. Thank you for carrying a division that doesn't get enough TV time or story.
Hmm. And how?
Then the question after that's just going to be how do you kill all the time until Wembley when you could have Jamie versus Soraya, both who are from over there. It's writing on the wall, man. They're both from there.
I know. I just want Saraya to get better. I mean, the last time she wrestled, she wasn't as bad.
And she hasn't been
But
wrestling so much. It's been the other two.
yeah, the last time she had wrestled, it wasn't so bad. But I really hope that her in ring work is better by that time because she wrestles like someone that should be on Dark right now.
Yeah, her timing in some of the stuff we've seen in her time in AEW has been off. Call it ring rust. I don't care. Practice. Like it's got to be better,
Mm-hmm.
especially in her position.
Yeah, the as I've seen, I definitely see the personality. It's all there, but yeah, we just gotta get that Get that ring work together, please. And then I'll be down.
So I hated having to ruin your night a little bit and having to bring up the fact that we're totally going to get Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal getting another tag team title match. Especially after this Jeff Jarrett versus Dax Harwood match tonight. It's funny, you look so miserable right now, but we kind of talked about during the match. Dax wrestles a style of match that should work well with Jeff Jarrett. And it probably was Jeff Jarrett's best match in 10 years.
I like the match. I just don't like Jeff Jarrett still.
At least you know they have to lose, right? They have to lose.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. But yeah, Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal are gonna get another tag title shot because they are like the heel tag team.
I feel like if you took like the last 4 pay-per-views, they've had a tag team title match at least half of them. So that'd be 2. Or at least we know of 1, but the next one might make it 2. Or will make it 2 because it's happening. Maybe we'll get lucky and kind of similar to last time, they'll find a way to rope in another tag team.
That
I
would
can't
not be enjoyable for me.
I can't think of any of them that have anything to do with either of these two right now.
Yeah, I would be down for them to just have a regular tag match because that's so rare to get a regular tag match.
Question: who are the Acclaims fighting again right now?
The Acclaims.
Yeah.
The Acclaims are.
Yeah. Definitely. I know.
The Acclaims are not fighting anyone right now, really, because they just got done. Well, they did the 2.0 thing.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah,
That's
and
what it
then
was.
basically they're about to set up whatever's next. It seems like
That'll just be a hard route for FTR match, I guess. Just you know what?
but
As long as
FTR
Jeff
could definitely use that rematch. You know, they did not beat the Acclaimed, and the Acclaimed were the only team that beat them clean. Well, the
so
Briscoes beat them clean too, but
as long as Jeff Jarrett is barely in the match and they rely on Jay Lethal, it could still be a very good match. So
yeah.
we should actually talk about the Stacks versus Jeff Jarrett match. The refs kick out all of Jeff Jarrett's people, Lethal, Dutt, Sting, before like during the entrance.
Yep. Cash didn't. Cash came out, gave Dax a fist bump, and he was like, "All right, you got this."
Yeah,
But he didn't got this.
because everybody's favorite pencil person, Sanjay Dutt, randomly appeared during the match while Dax had Jay Lethal or Jeff Jarrett up for a suplex. Does the whole thing where he trips out his legs, holds him down, so that way Jeff could try to get the pin. It's not enough. Dax chases Dutt around the ring. Dutt goes in the ring and then gets out the other side. But while that happens, Jeff Jarrett is able to grab him, hit the stroke for Jeff Jarrett to beat Dax Harwood in 2023.
Yeah. Go Jeff Jarrett. Setting up that double or nothing match.
Because after Dutt hands him the tag team championship that he has been chasing for like 9 months now,
Yep.
and Jeff Jarrett's doing his same like celebration when like he goes for a pin and he's not gonna win. It's like yes, Where's the guitar shots? It's the only thing that Jeff Jarrett's good for on TV. I want guitar shots.
I know. I want my Jeff Jarrett guitar shots. If I'm gonna have to watch him on a weekly basis, I want guitar shots. Like that's not hard to ask.
Like, it's something unique that we know to him. So even if we're not a fan, there's like I guess a nostalgia aspect to it. Like, yeah, Jeff Jarrett busted somebody up again, and it was over 30 seconds, and we got to move on from it. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I would be so down to watch Jeff Jarrett bust somebody with a guitar. Nothing wrong with that. But I don't want to see him win. That's just
I started freaking out. Like, that can't happen. Won't happen. Can't happen.
Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal, new tag team champions.
Are you trying to give me nightmares before I go to bed? Are you trying to give me nightmares? So in a show that had at least 2 title matches, because we're not really sure about the Wardlow match because it basically wasn't even a match.
That doesn't count.
The main event was a first-time tag team. I mean, granted, it's Kenny Omega and Takeshita teaming up against not even a top-notch other team full of superstars. It was the Butcher and the Blade.
Hey, the Butcher and the Blade are the Butcher and the Blade. It was so I like the Butcher and the Blade, but it was but those two are not main event Dynamite guys normally.
Exactly. Like it's
So
not that I have anything against them.
mm,
It's just let's acknowledge that there's no title on the line. You're the main event. You are not stars like that.
hey, but Kenny and Takeshita are.
Like, Butcher and Blade is like, go fight Private Party and 2.0 on Dark.
Yep, that's about where they are. This Butcher and Blade are that one tag team that it's like they win just enough to where you can kind of take them seriously, but not seriously enough to where you want to see them in a main event.
Yeah. And basically to help that graphic card where it said they had like over 30 tag team wins or whatever it was that you saw. Because I didn't look at it. It's what? Go win 10 matches on
Oh
YouTube.
yeah, they had 31 tag team wins in AEW. That was yeah. I'm just like, all right, so that was over how many years and how many losses?
It's go win a bunch. It's win 10 matches on YouTube, lose one on TBS. Win 10 matches on YouTube, lose one on TNT.
Yeah. So yeah, they got one heck of a record. They are a tough team to beat.
For this match, Danielson is out on commentary. It's worth noting that BCC minus Danielson laid out RJ City backstage randomly earlier in the night.
Yeah, that was mean.
He was an amateur.
I mean, everybody is, according to Brian Danielson.
Apparently not
Well,
Takeshita.
Takeshita is not an amateur.
I will admit that line once the match was over because clearly Kenny and Takeshita win. They called it a power drive knee by Takeshita to Butcher for the win. And I loved it. Danielson drops that line and says, I see one pro wrestler in the ring who got the pin, and I see an amateur who's gasping for his breath.
Dude, I love Kenny and Takeshita together. Like they looked like they've worked as a tag team before, but you've seen how well Kenny works with everybody, so
If you can wrestle and you're facing Kenny, it's gonna be a good match. Or
yeah.
in this case, wrestling with Kenny, you can look good as a tag team without us really caring about the other side of the equation.
Mm-hmm.
Not that Butcher
Yeah,
and
I was
Blade are
like,
bad by any means. They're good.
no, yeah, yeah. It was just I was like, hmm, Takeshita and Kenny work really well together. I'm not surprised, but it's just you just don't even with the level of talent, you don't expect them to look that good together right away.
Mm-hmm. So Danielson on the mic begins basically what we already know. They say Takeshita should be with BCC. Look at what they did for Wheeler Yuta versus being Michael Nakazawa or Brandon Cutler. Conveniently, they drop off Hangman's name.
Yeah.
Not like the Elite had
Oh yeah.
anything to do with Hangman's rise or anything.
No, nothing to do with that. They didn't help him.
All that was to give him time for the BCC to do the whole slide in and attack from behind. I want one wrestler to outsmart this stupid wrestling trope just at one point so I can appreciate it.
Yeah.
And it
I
needs
would
to be
love
Samoa Joe.
I would love that for somebody to be like, you didn't think I didn't hear the crowd? Like, come on, man. They were screaming your name. I knew you were behind me.
Not only that, but it's not even like a big surprise because even to take it one step further, where does BCC enter for their normal matches when Mox is involved?
Yeah.
Through the
Yeah.
motherfucking crowd.
Wow. Thing. Wow. Wow. Wow.
We did not get the return of Hangman tonight. Waiting for it, it's got to come. It's going to be next
Mm-hmm.
week. It's got to be next week because if not, it's going to be when we're there, and I would love that. I'm just not holding out hope.
Yeah, don't hold out hope for it, but if it doesn't happen next week,
It's just one of those things that being in those live crowds when you can have those pops, it's so much fun, and
mm-hmm.
it would get a pop.
Yeah, yeah, like I really hope we get something massive like that.
So they throw out Takeshita and they start attacking Kenny alone. They're about to use the screwdriver. The Bucks comes out. That leaves, rest of BCC goes to run up on the Bucks. Leaves Kenny with Mox, and Kenny goes to use the screwdriver, but Danielson grabs Takeshita, slides him in the ring to kind of stop Kenny, which at this point Takeshita's completely a pawn in their game.
Yeah, yeah, they just got him flipping back and forth,
Yeah.
and so yeah, the BCC and Don Callis are just using Takeshita like a tool.
Yeah, Mox actually shoves Takeshita into Kenny to kind of start the whole fighting over again. Um, in the end, BCC gets the advantage. They go to raise up Takeshita's arm, and he's like, "Hell no!"
Yeah, he's like, nah, I'm not with you guys.
All right.
You guys
So
are stabbing folks with screwdrivers.
that's the curious part because we were kind of figuring the way that these lined up, you could see Takeshita ending up in BCC. But considering what happens at the very end with Yuta hitting a low blow and then Mox taking a screwdriver to his head,
Yeah.
don't see it happening anymore.
Nope. Ain't happening.
Or
Takeshita's going to be elite.
how I said when we're watching this, like if the plan was for Don to turn and try to bring Takeshita with him or whatever it would be, since the Elite are going more babyface, I don't see how you can change Don anymore either because they nearly murdered the man. Not to bring up
I
bad
don't know.
memories.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I just Don just
Needs to be a heel.
nothing. Yeah, like he's just not believable to be behind a babyface team. Unless if that's going to be his angle the entire time is trying to turn them heel the whole time. Because he just looks like a dude that you should punch as soon as you see him.
Honestly, that's how the Elite went heel the first time. He was with Kenny, and he kind of gave the Bucks an ultimatum and kind of slapped the shit out of them to kind of motivate them to go heel.
Yep. So that's either Don Callis goes completely healed, leaves them alone, joins the BCC, or he's just going to keep trying to pull them to the heel side.
You can do both. You
and
could
keep saying "fuck Hangman."
I mean, you could do both. You could have him try to get him to go heel for the longest time, and he eventually gives up and says, "Fuck it, I'm going over there then. Screw you guys, I'm going home."
Because clearly his only issue here is Hangman for some reason. He's like, yeah, everything is good as long as it's not Hangman.
Sure, because you kind of wonder, but with the way that BCC's been injuring all them and taking them out of action, we know Don had made the comment about making up and like apologizing to Hangman, but you would think by now they could have a phone call or something and it could have happened, but
Yeah. Nah. That would mess up everything.
actually, is that what he said he was gonna do right before he got his head split open?
Yep.
I was gonna say it might have been that same one.
Yep, that was that. And then he got all splitted and busted open and nasty. Well,
All right. I do believe that it covers all of AEW Dynamite, the announcements, all that other good stuff. If you're still here watching this as a actual stream, what?
watching. If you're watching this video with your face, yeah.
I actually thought you were gonna say that it was I forgot something or something that he was like, hold on. I was like,
No.
what?
You know what we forgot? We forgot to talk about how good Chimp Empire is on Netflix. Plugging that for you, Netflix. You're welcome.
It might give me something to try to watch next, so I don't mind it. But if you're still here watching us right now on the actual like the live stream recording VOD, thank you. It's pretty far in, so make sure you hit a like, make sure you're subscribed, comment. If you use Discord, please feel free. Links on the page. Join us.
Let's talk wrestling.
That being said, you got there is one major thing to actually say.
That looks like a pajama shirt.
Fuck Rampage. We ain't doing it this week. It'll be over before I'm even home.
Yeah. I will be on my way home during the show, so I can't do it, and he will still be working.
Yeah, I'll be working for half of the show, and then on my way home for the other half of the show.
And I'd get home about halfway through the show.
I don't know how you're supposed to do a live watch along when the show's over.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, no Rampage. We'll be back for that Dynamite.
Might be able to enjoy a Friday night. At least
Probably just gonna sleep early. That's what I did last week.
unless I go out.
Hey.
Star Wars, Jedi, Survivor, all night Friday night.
Snap.
There's my plug. Get a really good game. And possibly the only game I know that has a red-headed main character. It's beautiful.